Welcome to another Tiki Tuesday. Very good to see everybody. Hope everybody's having a good time tonight. Oh, great to see you, Monique. Thanks for resubscribing. Remember, it don't cost you a dime to resubscribe to Octopolis with Twitch Prime. Good to see you. Thanks for that. Really appreciate it. Hope everybody is doing well. Tonight's cocktail is going to be the Painkiller. So can't go wrong with Painkiller. Let's take a look at what's in our Painkiller tonight. So we've got some pineapple juice, some golden rum, some OJ, coconut, and some nutmeg. So that should be a winner. So we'll give that one a shake and see how it tastes tonight. Here's our not very classy plastic shaker that we always use for Tiki Tuesdays. And that's going to go right into our nice Tiki Cat mug. Oh, we miss Tiki Cat so much. Let's see if we can do it without destroying anything here. Ooh. Oh, it's going to be a winner. It's a good one. And this is a double in one glass. That's why they call it a Painkiller, because it's going to knock out whatever ails me. So good to see you, Catherine. Good to see you, Quench Press. Aloha to you as well. Here's the Painkiller in the classic Tiki Cat mug. Hopefully you guys can see that. Cheers to all of you. Ooh, it's nice. It's definitely alcohol forward, which is what I suspected. So very alcohol forward. Not very, like it's a little bit alcohol forward, but it's very nice. Tomcat says, kill the pain. Well, until the hangover arrives. Right, then you just drink more, right? Isn't that how it works? Catherine says the sound is different than usual. Different good, different bad. The music is wrong. Tell me. Give me some details. My microphone is the same. My levels on my mic look good. So let me know what you guys are hearing, good, bad, or different. Hello, Monique. So good to see you. Tomcat says, I was going to say the same about the sound. A bit of an echo or reverb. Oh. That's not good. Let me see. Is the echo gone now? Did the echo disappear, or is it still there? We'll try something. You guys let me know. I've been using... That's better, Quench Press says. Okay, well, good to know. Maybe it's a delay. I noticed. Tommy's like, seems better. I noticed. I don't know if it's one of the OS updates or something else that's going on. But when I've been doing all my streaming videos for Photoshop, that there's a weird delay with the keyboard now, which causes all kinds of problem with the Photoshop tools. Where I have to I'm used to pressing a key and then drawing or painting or whatever, and with that modifier key, and it was doing all this crazy stuff, and now I have to press the key, count to 1, and then paint. So maybe there's something similar with the audio where there's a delay or an echo, but I killed the other mic that was on the music, so hopefully that gets rid of the echo. But what'll be really good is when Sound Siphon gets their shit together and gets the patch out for their audio application that's been broken since... I don't know, 4 months now, 5 months? It's kind of crazy. Hey, Evan, good to see you. So we've got Evan, Monique, Catherine, Tomcat, Quench Press. No less do this. And we know if Catherine's here, Whitney's around somewhere. So good to see all of you. Thanks for joining tonight. Again, the drink is the Painkiller. And last week we did our fun Dole Whip drawing, and everybody seemed to like that. I had a really good response to that. And so tonight I thought it'd be fun to... in that same vein, explore drawing a cocktail from the top down. Just kind of doing this couple of series of cocktail drawings just to see if we like them and have fun with them. But the response to last week's was really solid. Even people who'd never really been on the channel before seemed to really like the artwork, so that's good. Monique says, it sounded like we were hearing you and then hearing the replay. Oh, that's definitely not good. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen regardless of how many mics I have plugged into Streamlabs. So I'm guessing that there's some software issue or something going on. Wouldn't surprise me. Evan says, I think the new Photoshop has lasso issues. You know, I kept thinking it was the lasso because that's what I would see acting up. But then I recorded a video yesterday that you won't see for a few weeks. And I think I discovered it's actually the keyboard, not the lasso, but it's affecting the lasso because like in Photoshop, when you go to use the lasso, you can use modifier keys like the shift key or the option key or some other keys. And it's like when I press that modifier key, it's not taking effect. So then I start to do the thing with the lasso and it fails or it glitches or whatever. But if I press and count like a second, then it's okay. So hopefully I discovered the problem, and then when I record videos, I can just remind myself of that, and hopefully it'll be okay. Tomcat says, I thought it was a TIE fighter. It's been a long day, so don't mind me. That's hilarious. But this is a good idea to do like a TIE fighter from the top down, but then like the long shadow. That would be cool too. Catherine says, he's in the kitchen where he belongs. Oh, that's a good answer. I like that. Quinchpress says, Ted Lasso was renewed for seasons 3 and 4. Yippee. Yeah, I really like this first season. I saw there has already happened, Quinch, about the cast of Ted Lasso at some sort of like virtual convention, or is that still coming up? I wasn't sure about that. Quinchpress says, my TIE Fighter, still need to do that. Yeah, we do need to do that. I still owe Evan a sketch. I've got a couple other backlog. I'm telling you guys, the last few weeks have been so nutty that I get ready to do a daytime stream on Thursdays and some insanity happens. So like I was all planning to do one again this Thursday, and now I have like a last minute emergency Zoom with Smithsonian and ASU that wasn't planned until like today. So it's just been nuts, but I have some sketches backlogged. I want to get them done for you guys. I want to do them. So we'll make it happen. It's been really nutty, and I can't complain because we've been getting a little bit of work from some different publishers and stuff, and that's been good, but I gotta keep up on my commitments. You know what I'm saying? Evan says, yeah, my modifier is laggy. Oh, so is it happening to you all the time, Evan? Because with me, I only notice it when I am recording video. But maybe it's happening more than that. I just don't know. Monique says, will there be a stream Thursday? Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I had planned to do one, but with this emergency meeting, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So unless that meeting ends up going short. But I am trying. I have several sketches in the queue ready to do. So hopefully I can get back on track with those. Because I know I want to do them. You guys want to see them. So it's just been, I'm telling you, something about this pandemic. I would never have this many phone calls and meetings on a non-pandemic time. But everybody wants to, do everything all the time now. Hey, there's Let's Do This. He says, lost track of time while watching the new Superman show premiere. That's cool. How is the new Superman show? Is that the same actor who played Superman on Supergirl? Quinchpress says, I haven't heard anything about that virtual con. Yeah, I saw something about Ted Lasso. Like the cast and crew either were going to be at some sort of like a virtual upfront or virtual convention, or they already have. I'm not sure which of the two that is, but I think that came out of Apple's quarterly meeting that they just had. And Evan says he's seeing the problem in Photoshop more when flattening than coloring. So when you're just doing a lot of repetitive, that makes sense. Monique says, no problem. It's my birthday Thursday, so I wanted to see if there was one. Well, right now I do have a Zoom meeting booked. So unless that meeting goes short, then we'll see. Whitney says, I posted this on Instagram, but we got our mystery tube and our Patreon prizes, and wow, so many fun prizes. Catherine was super excited about the Wonder Woman print, and I absolutely love the Back to the Future one. Thank you. Thank you. Let's Do This says, yep, same actor. It's a 90-minute special, pretty different. Oh, okay, interesting. And Monique's like, there was a Back to the Future one? So the Back to the Future was only for Patreon, but if you're on my mailing list, if you're in the Collectors Club, I'm going to have a way where you can get it probably in March. So I'm working on it, people. That art was originally supposed to be released at San Diego Comic-Con 2020, which didn't happen. And so I'm just trying to figure out ways I can get it out to people without upsetting anybody, upsetting the powers that be. So yes, Monique, it exists, and like I said, you'll probably get an email from me first week of March about how you can get one. It'll be something cheesy like, pay $50 for this sticker and get a free Back to the Future poster. But that's the way I'll have to do it. So hopefully you guys all, it's like with a wink and a nudge. Hopefully you all get that. Whitney says, Tomcat says, hey, Whitney, do I smell something burning? Go back to the kitchen. And Whitney says, I can't burn water. Quinch says, Tyler is the actor playing Superman. I didn't realize that the first episode debuted today. I know what I'm doing after the stream. There you go. Well, I've been so busy that I haven't been able to watch as much of the normal streaming shows as possible. So I've been trying to catch up on some old movies and stuff that have just been appearing. And I saw that they dropped all the original like Austin Powers films on HBO Max. So I rewatched the first one. And I think it holds up as well as to be expected. And I remember that movie not being a big hit when it first came out. And I did think it was interesting that like one of the most shocking parts is when Dr. Evil talks about having like, shaved his balls and stuff. And that was supposed to be like so shocking that no man would ever do that. And like every guy under the age of like 30 does it now. So that was kind of funny. Tomcat's like, okay, Whitney, you can stay. Whitney says, hey, Monique, you can see it on my Instagram at Whitney93545. Evan says, I'm a Patreon, I didn't get it. Well, you're not on that level of Patreon, are you, Evan? So there's only one level where you get art in the mail every month. And that's because they're paying specifically for that. So, but you will get the email in March like everybody else with the ability to order it. So I think, well, I have news about that Patreon level, but when it's all set up and ready, I'll tell you guys. But we're trying to figure out a way to integrate that into the Octopolis website Collectors Club so that people who don't necessarily want to join Patreon can get in like on a subscription to start getting artwork every month for me. So working on that today, as a matter of fact. So it's coming. It's coming. A lot of people have been asking for it. Just been trying to get all the logistics worked out. So it is definitely coming. Catherine, redeemed to hydrate. Cheers to you, Catherine. Thank you. Evan says the top tier isn't covered. No, there's only one tier where you get physical art in the mail, because otherwise we would lose. We would lose money on everything. So you get all the personal training, and this other group doesn't get any personal training, but they don't get the group class and all that, but they get the art. So it's kind of like separation of the collectors from the students there. A little confusing, I know, but we had to figure out a way to try to please everybody. But yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching today. We've got a really good turnout today. I know not everyone is on the chat, but if you want to jump on the chat, we're all very friendly, so feel free to hop on. Let us know what you're drinking tonight. I'm having the Painkiller, which is very delightful. I highly recommend it to everybody. But let me know what you guys are drinking tonight. And for those of you that aren't on the chat, but you're watching or listening, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Like to get together every Tuesday and hang out, drink tiki cocktails, make some artwork. Tonight's art's kind of out there because it's a top-down view on a cocktail, but then the shadow is going to reveal like the shape of the leaves and the umbrella and stuff. So kind of different, kind of fun. We like to keep things interesting here. And no news on tiki mugs right now, but I keep hoping for some news, but who knows what's going on with that stuff. But as soon as I let you guys know. When he says, it confuses me when I log in, it says, increase your level to a lower dollar amount to get access. Yeah, I know, Whitney. Patreon has been okay, but it hasn't been everything I hoped it would be. I can tell you that the back end for those of us that are the creators, it's not as fully functional and developed as one might imagine. That's why my goal is to move the Art in the Mail subscription off of Patreon and onto Octopolis, and that would eliminate all that confusion for people. So we're working on it. It probably won't be ready until either late March or early April, but that's the goal right now. We'll keep the Patreon mostly focused on the videos and the art instruction and that sort of thing, and we'll move the kind of the art of the month collectible goodies over to like a subscription service on Octopolis. So, just got to figure out what works for everybody, because you hear all these creators are like, Patreon, Patreon, Patreon. And you get in there on the back end, you're like, oh, this is like not as refined as you would think. It's pretty clutched together, but we're having a good time with it. I'm making a ton of videos right now. I've got videos of the week already recorded and ready to go, I think, through the end of March. So it's doing good. It's doing really good. Whitney says, I have a hazy IPA and Catherine has a pseudo mudslide. Ooh, pseudo mudslide. That sounds good. They both sound good. I had someone tell me that, they're like, if you want to have this person get this thing done for you, he really likes hazy IPAs. And I was like, I lived through the first IPA craze in the 90s, and I don't know all the slang and lingo for the new stuff. So I don't know the difference between a hazy and a something else. Evan says, I'm drinking water. Hey, that is a good beverage to be drinking. Sparkling water or still water, Evan? That's really the question. Sparkling or still? I get so frustrated at I guess I'll say millennial or Gen Z or whatever restaurant people in America who no longer know the terminology sparkling or still. And we used it at a pretty nice restaurant where they offer both. And the guy's like, distilled water? I don't think we have that. And I was like, no, still water. It means it has no bubbles. He's like, oh. I was like, yes. I think if you're going to work at a restaurant that has stars, you might need to know that. When he says, Katie does enjoy the art school stuff we have Act 2. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. Well, I'm doing so much more right now. That reminds me, I guess I should tell you guys now. Tomorrow, we're going to be recording our WonderCon panel live on Discord. So that'll be at 10 a.m. Arizona time. we won't be able to answer questions during the main part of the recording, but we'll do like a Q&A session towards the end. So we encourage everyone to come by and check it out and participate if you can. But that'll be fun. And then, of course, we'll do the recording live on Discord, and then that'll come out later for WonderCon. So, but you guys will get to see it first, and you'll get to see it as it happens. So that'll be fun. Evan's having straight up tap water, yo. Tomcat says, after you've had a few IPAs, then the next one becomes hazy along with everything else. It's a good answer. I like that answer. That's the way it should be. Whitney's like, Tomcat gets it. I lived around outside of Seattle during like the grunge period, and it was like everybody was either drinking IPAs or like Canadian beer because they had access to it and it was cheap. I think it was like Alaskan Pale Ale was like the hot trendy thing back then. Monique says, okay, Whitney, I found your Instagram account, and yes, I like that Back to the Future one. Good, I'm so glad. Yeah, that, like I said, that was supposed to come out at San Diego Comic-Con 2020, and so I dropped it first for Patreon members, of course. So everybody on Patreon, of course, gets a digital version, and then only the people in the mail, the You Get Mail, I think as we call it, or You've Got Mail, they get the physical copy, and then anyone who's in the collectors club will get an email from me with how they can get one. So Evan says, when we ask a question, do we just do it in the chat rather than out loud? Yeah, or you can just wait. Or you can just wait. Like we'll get to a point where we're like, okay, it's open for questions and answers, and then we can probably still do it in the chat because we probably won't have a way to record your audio. But then we'll have like a 5 or 10 minute window where we can do Q&A, and that'll make, even though people will be watching a recording, at least they'll get the idea that it was recorded live and there was people interacting with us, and it'll make it a little bit more dynamic. So we did not get to do that with San Diego Comic-Con one, because at the time they told us all that stuff was like top secret and blah blah. Then we saw some other panels that had live audiences and everything. We're like, oh, well, we totally want to do that next time. So that's kind of where we're at now. It's working on all that stuff. So, all right, let's get some paint going on this thing. After I redeem Quench Presses Hydrate, thank you. Whitney says, hey Monique, excellent. It looks like velvet in person. I may need another one for my brother. I'm so glad you like it. Yeah, those Z clay prints, I think turn out really, really nice. I'm really happy with them. So, and I worked super duper hard on that artwork. So, I just trying to figure out a way to get it in front of people. So I'm glad we're figuring that out. Because, I do plenty of stuff that never sees the light of day. And Patreon's been a good way for me to share that with everybody, with the the digital artwork and the some of the wallpapers and stuff. But getting the real prints out to people, that's kind of what it's all about for me. So it definitely makes it more fun. All right, let's see what are we going to do with this. Let's start with some red values. Get our palette over here a little bit where we can see get some pinks and some reds going. I think that'll be nice. Start off with our little umbrella, maybe some light pink, and maybe the stripes on the straw or something too. We'll see. We'll just do like a wash of this, and then we can go and start adding some shading on top. Should look pretty cool. Um, Monique's like, I will be on the lookout for my Collectors Club email. Yeah, it'll usually I send those like the first week of the month. So I try not to send too many emails to annoy people, but sometimes I feel like I don't send enough. So I try to do one a month, and then if there's something really big like a Star Wars release, I'll do two. So, and to everyone who ordered the Bounty Collected artwork with Boba Fett's ship Slave One, thank you so much for that. I know Dark Ink Art started shipping those, and some people are posting online that they're getting them, and I really appreciate everybody's support on that stuff because that's something I made, before the pandemic. That's just been sitting and waiting. So it's nice to, get the feedback that people are receiving those. Whitney says the solo win is really good too. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I had fun with that. That's another. I posted the story online that everything I did for the solo movie got shelved once the movie came out and underperformed everyone's expectations. So, it's just nice to be able to share the artwork. And Patreon's, one of the ways I can do that. So, because technically you're making a donation to me and I am freely giving you the artwork. You're not paying for the artwork. So it's a nice way to do it. Catherine says, what's the drink you're drawing? Well, I was going to say it's up to you guys. This week, I'm not, like last week it was the Dole Whip, and this week it could be any tiki cocktail, but I'm thinking I might give it some like Mai Tai colors or something, but definitely up for interpretation, I think. Whitney says, you need to have some iPhone-sized wallpapers for some of this artwork. Yeah, I agree with that. I've actually, when I post them up, I figure people can do whatever they want with them, but I did consider, should I pre-make them to the size of the iPhone? So if you think that would help, I could do it. Evan says, I got mine a little bit ago. Yay! So glad to hear that. Tomkit says, I didn't see Solo in theaters. I feel responsible now. It is all your fault, just like Whitney says. Monique says, it looks like a Mai Tai I made. Yeah, I was kind of thinking like Mai Tai-ish for sure. That was kind of my thought. But it could be any tiki cocktail, but it's got that kind of Mai Tai vibe, I think, a little bit. Whitney says, and by need, I mean it would be neat to have. I would totally use them. Okay, that's good. Like I said, when I just shared the wallpapers, I'm like, oh, people will put them on their phones if they want to, but I could definitely format it in some sort of dimensions. I even saw where one artist did this cool thing where he would share them on his Instagram stories and then just tell people to do a screenshot of that, and then it would be the right size for the phone. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So we'll see. Quench Press redeemed to hydrate. Thank you, Quench. And this one's a double, and it's already half gone. Quench Press says, drinking 1.5 ounce of Zaya Gran Reserva 16-year rum, 1.5 ounce European I can never say this one, Shanandra Bianco rum, 3/4 ounce Tempest Fugit Creme de Banana, 1/2 ounce Bitter Truth Falernum. Sounds good. Monique says, glad you read typing because it auto-corrected as Maintail. Yeah, I saw that. I'm surprised I didn't get it wrong either, but sometimes I have my mental autocorrect works. Not always, but sometimes. So yeah, I've been doing these high contrast sketches last week and this week, the long shadows and stuff. Really fun. I started on a digital version of last week, so probably have those out sometime in the future. Just trying to change things up a little bit here and there, Monique's like, Jeezer, my autocorrect is killing me. Yeah, autocorrect. Ugh, it's the worst, right? Oh, thanks for following, Victory Sovereign. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining us on Tiki Tuesday. Tonight's cocktail is the Painkiller, but let us know what you're drinking tonight, if you're drinking something. We're definitely happy to have you here. Always good to see people joining. Good turnout tonight. Having fun with cocktails and artwork and all things tiki. Monique says, "I feel your," or Whitney says, "Hey Monique, I feel your pain. I can't type worth a darn on here for some reason." And Catherine needing to hydrate. Cheers to you, Catherine. And then Monique's thing, it says Jeezer, not Jeezer, which I'm sure is supposed to say Jeez, not Jeezer, maybe. I don't know. She's like, I give up. That's hilarious. Monique's like, I quit. Whitney says, hey, Quench Press, what does your liquor shelf look like? If he was like one of the Marx Brothers, he's like, it looks like $1 million. Tomcat says, hey, Monique, you need to stop typing and start drinking. Hey, that's words of wisdom right there. Words to live by, I think. So, all right, let's start to do a little bit of shading on this umbrella. Get this worked in nice. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I like I was saying, I've been watching some crazy stuff on streaming. So, raise your hand. Hey, cat, knock it off. Raise your hand if you watched Space Sweepers on Netflix. Yes, it's the Korean sci-fi film you never knew you missed. It's like equal parts Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh my gosh, cat. Indio, no. She's attacking Christie's desk and eating Christie's papers. I'm sure that's not a good thing. So yes, Space Sweepers, Korean sci-fi film, equal parts Guardians of the Galaxy, Elysium, a few other things. But one thing it is it's highly entertaining with some crazy characters. We watched it on a whim, and I think we both liked it. Christy and I both liked it, so that was a win. Not saying it's a great film, but it was definitely different and original and entertaining. Like the premise was something you've seen before, but their execution was fairly original. So I would give Space Sweepers, a definite like check it out. Worth checking out for sure. So yes, if you haven't, that's one to try. Whitney's like, the cat's in trouble when you're yelling cat. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't even say Indio. I was like, cat. Monique's like, wait, now it's trying to do picture in picture. What the hell? I don't even know how you do picture in picture on Twitch. That's crazy. What the hell indeed? Are you on your phone, Monique? Is that the problem? Because usually you only have weird problems when you're on your phone. So yes, Space Sweepers. Pour yourself a big drink and sit back and just enjoy the absurdity that is Space Sweepers. And I'll tell you that there's a joke in there about the little fart machine that was pretty good. You'll like. Tomcat says, is it subtitled or in English? Or it's mostly dubbed with a few of the characters subtitled, but it is mostly dubbed. Quinch says, I got about 5 to 10 minutes in, but stopped. It's subtitled, right? I think it just wasn't in a reading mood. So again, it's mostly dubbed, but there's a few characters that the weird thing is it's not the Korean characters, but there's like a German character. There's like in this universe, there's people from all over the world. And so some of the characters are subtitled. Whitney says, used to have a cat who ate papers all the time and only the important papers. Yeah, this cat loves paper and cardboard and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why. Like a paper towel tube is maybe her favorite toy. Seems weird to me, but that's what she likes. She's definitely the kind of cat where if you buy her a toy, she wants to play with the package it came in more than the toy itself. Catherine says, "Thank you, Kat, for giving proof of life. I've been worried." All right, just kind of making this painting up as I go tonight, so I don't really have a plan other than it's a cocktail. It'll be fun. Sometimes those are the most fun things to do, though. Just winging it. You guys know me. I just make it up as I go, usually. Whitney says, Tonka says, "Hey, Whitney, you used to have a cat. Now you have a cat." Whitney says, "I have an abundance." Yeah, Christy's always talking about getting another cat or a dog or something, but we haven't yet. We used to have 2 cats, or we used to have 2 dogs and 3 cats at the same time. And at one time we had 4 cats, so we definitely have the thing for pets. All right, so this is a Mai Tai. Let's go with some sort of a golden hue. Monique says, "Whitney, mine didn't eat them, just peed on them. Couldn't leave anything laying anywhere." Oh my goodness, that is horrible. All right, nobody got excited about Space Sweepers, but I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with that one. But I did see on Netflix they have some free movies sometimes, and I was kind of laid up in bed Saturday for a bit, and so I watched free on YouTube November Man with Pierce Brosnan, and I had just kind of never got around to watching that one or whatever, and I thought it was pretty good. Like, for like a spy story, I thought it was pretty good. I kind of dug it. It definitely was maybe not as action-packed as like a James Bond film, but it was a much more like serious plot and really well written and well acted. So, if you're looking for a freebie to watch sometime, that's one of those like free with ads ones on YouTube, and I liked it. I thought it was cool. I dug it. I thought Pierce Brosnan did a good job, and like the supporting cast was good, and the mystery was not super mysterious, but like it was enough that it kept you guessing on like which of these 2 or 3 people was the real villain. Which I think in like a spy movie that makes sense. You don't know who to trust, and that was kind of the theme they went with there. So it was pretty cool. I dug it, and it was nice to see Pierce like get to act and not just have like not cheesy, but not just one-liners or whatever. So it's kind of cool. Evan, redeemed to hydrate. Cheers. Thank you, Evan. Quench Press says, "Hey, Whitney, I have 14 bottles of rum, 3 mezcals, 2 bourbons, 2 ryes, and about 8 different liqueurs. So around 30 bottles. It's not a huge collection. But it's not a small collection either. That's the point." Monique says, "I think you did those colors backwards. Yellow umbrella and pink Mai Tai. It looks like lemonade." Well, I don't put any cherries or anything in my Mai Tais. I always end up with like a gold or brown, depending on how much brown rum I put in there. But it's a good idea though. That could look cool too. That's why I said it's up to you. It could be any cocktail you want it to be. But yeah, if I do a digital version of this, I'll have to decide what looks cool in there for the cocktail. And I trust Monique. She's just about always right about these things. So, and when I say just about always right, what I really mean is that she's always right, and I just don't want to admit it. That's what I really mean. Quinch Press says, I finally got to see The Shape of Water this week. Oh, is that the one with the aquatic creature? The Hellboy creature? Am I thinking, is that the right movie that I'm thinking about? If so, I really enjoyed that film. I liked it a lot. Like, really, really liked it. Quinch Press says, yes, that's the one. Yeah, I thought it was great. I saw it. I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it like as soon as it came out on like to rent or whatever on streaming. And yeah, always liked that film. The main actors were fantastic in it. Really, really liked it. Monique says, mine are always a light pink color because that's how my drinks works. Makes them. Oh yeah, your drink works. Hey Monique, do you have a link that you want to share to your drink works to anyone who might be interested? That's her machine that automatically makes cocktails. So I mean that's pretty cool. Tomcat says, Quench Press 30 bottles and a partridge in a pear tree. Yeah, that's pretty good. I haven't counted my bottles, but we usually have, I would say between white and red wine, we usually have between 50 and 100 bottles in the house at any one time. And then with liquor, between bourbon and rum and everything else, maybe 20 to 30 bottles. Maybe. But some of that's accumulation and some of that is like, people give you gifts and things. So it's not all stuff that we bought. But some of it is. All right, let's see what kind of weird value we can make for this shadow. Quitch says, my latest additions are the Zaya Grand Reserve Rum and Saint Germain Elderflower Liqueur. Man, Christy hates elderflower liqueur with a passion. She's so mad when all that elderflower stuff got popular in all the martinis and cocktails. She just cannot stand anything botanical. She doesn't like gin. None of that stuff. Tonka says, Lord Sean heard that. She's coming over. Well, I hope she likes bourbon, scotch, rum. We get a little bit of gin and a little bit of vodka. Mostly I'm into the brown liquor, though. Monique says, they're changing the ambassador program. I don't have a referral link that works right now. Oh, that's so sad. I'm sorry to hear that, Monique. We need to get you some kickbacks on that. I mean, some referral money. Maybe they're backlogged or something. Like so many things right now. It took us forever to get our washer and dryer in. I was reading about so many other kind of like goods that are completely behind demand right now because of the pandemic. So it's pretty crazy. And says, what scotch were you drinking? Oh, in that photo that Christy took. That was an Abalor, I'm sure. I've got a couple of different bottles, so I'm not sure which variety, but Abalor is one of my favorites. Balvenie is one of my favorites. Lagavulin. Oh, Lagavulin. That's a good one. Yeah, I think that one with the cat. People are just thought it was crazy that I was outside with the cat, but she'll sit. And Christy said I had to hold her. It's not true. If Christy's not there, the cat will just sit next to me on the back patio. She'll sit there and be good for about an hour usually, and then she starts getting antsy and wants to get down. And I understand that. I just bring her back in the house, but she just wants to be where I am usually. So if I'm outside, she'll just sit and cry at the door. So I just take her out there with me sometimes, and I'll have my happy hour out there in the nice backyard, and it's like 75 degrees this week, so it's been pretty nice. So India will sit there with me, and she'll watch the birds, and I'll watch the sunset, and just kind of relax after a crazy day. It's been so nuts. I mean, work's not as good as it was before the pandemic, but it is pretty good right now, and there's just everybody wants to do so many more meetings and Zoom calls and stuff, so it's more time consuming than it ever was before. Quinch Press says bourbon, scotch, and rum are my favorites. Monique says the Mars movie was cool. I was digging that they made it from different images. Quinch says, no pear tree, but I've been meaning to get some St. George spice pear liqueur. Oh, that sounds good. Monique says, I heard they use this NASA or whatever company to do the special effects. Well, speaking of that, Christy and I did not have Apple TV Plus back when the For All Mankind show started, but we heard that the season 2 is coming soon. And so we watched the first episode of season 1, and it was pretty good. I mean, I knew the twist going in, but I was impressed by it. It's a little slow in places and some of that, but it's the first episode, so I think we're going to give it a shot, and I think it'll be worth it. I hope it will, because season 2 is supposed to be set during the 80s kind of shuttle program era, and I think it'll be worth checking that out. So it was a fun watch, and their twist on things is kind of entertaining. Whitney says, we need to bar stuff in order. I need a graphics card, but no. Whitney might need to retype that sentence. We need to something our stuff in order. Monique says, hey Tomcat, I don't know, but the way the video was made, it looked really cool. Looked like Arizona and Egypt. Yeah, I thought it was really cool too. Evan says, I gotta go. Redeeming the cartoon theme song. Okay, Evan, we can do that. I'll wait for somebody to post the link up there. Whitney's like, bye, damn it. Whitney says, I only watched the first episode and wasn't sure. Yeah, I've only seen the first one so far myself, but the second season promises to be really good. So now I'm kind of interested in getting through the first season. We'll see. Cheers. Thank you, Quinch. Theme song time. All right. This will be extra interesting since you guys can't hear any music right now. Maybe we'll give me some extra reverb or echo here. It'll be worth it. Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailor man, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost. Ship set ground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle, with Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Marianne. They're all here. They're here on Gilligan's Isle. All right, we did it, guys. That one's for you, Evan. One's going out to you, buddy. Hopefully it wasn't too echoey. Hopefully it was the right amount of echo. When he says, you were talking about how long it takes to get stuff, we need to figure it out because I need a new graphics card and you literally can't buy a new one and used ones are outrageous. Yeah, right? I mean, it's nuts how everything is so backlogged right now. I saw that, like, you know, when I first started to stream, you couldn't get a webcam for like less than $600, like even a crazy one that should only be like $50 or something. And that's why I just found the software so I could use my iPhone to shoot my video, like what you're seeing here. That's from my iPhone, and I saw that there's still webcam shortages. I mean, you can get them much easier now than you could a year ago, but it's crazy. Like everything's just so. I think the thing I was reading that said that right now, like consumer demand outstrips supply on a lot of these things by like 30% or more. So it's really significant. Bye, Evan. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. Good to see you. Tomcat says, hey, Wendy, I was lucky enough to get a new graphics card from Amazon at retail last October, shortly after the release. Insane. They're still not available anywhere. Yeah, it's nuts. It is crazy. The stuff that and like I saw like demand for new cars is just now starting to rebound. But like the automakers, some of them are having to shut down some of their lines and plants because they can't get like the microprocessor chips they need for certain systems and stuff to put in the cars. So, you know, that supply chain stuff, like that's for real. I mean, even if there's a company that wants to make your graphics card or they want to make the, you know, washer and dryer we were waiting for, they could just be waiting on like one part that doesn't exist right now. And that could be like holding the whole thing up, you know? It's kind of crazy to think about. Everybody said goodbye to Evan. Whitney says, it's unbelievable. I built a new system and I'm stuck with integrated graphics. I don't need one, but I hate to be limited. Yeah, I hear that. I mean, someone who's used Photoshop, I cannot imagine not having good graphics on my machine. And I guess now too, because I stream and record so much video, you know, like it would just be detrimental. I wouldn't be able to do anything. I think so many people are, I mean, obviously we're lucky we have, you know, food and a roof over our head, but at the same time, there's still like major inconveniences that are, you know, causing people headaches and heartaches and missed opportunities. I don't know how long it will take for all this stuff to rebound. I mean, it's such a worldwide thing that even if one country gets all their people vaccinated and everybody back to work, there's still going to be some other country that doesn't. And, you know, that can delay everything. So it's kind of crazy. Whitney says, it's these damn cryptocurrency miners. Well, that could well be too. I mean, between energy use and graphics cards and chips and memory and everything else, it is definitely an issue. What do we think, guys? Do we like this idea of the top-down view of the cocktail? Thought it was kind of a fun thing to try. Maybe incorporate a few more graphical elements or something into it, but I thought it was kind of a fun exercise. Way to be creative, do something a little different.